Good morning. It's Live at 9 with James Phillips here on WJLX. It's a Wednesday morning, and it's our Wellness Wednesday, and we've got Tina Aaron from Heart here and her husband Scott, because we're going to be talking about love. All show today is love, and mainly the 5 love languages and what different languages mean and how it's connected. And I thought it'd be interesting to have you guys as a married couple. And Andrea was supposed to be here with me, but she's been ill the last couple of days, and I don't mean mean, just she's sick. And so, good to have you guys in here this morning.
We are happy to, well, one of us is happy to be here. One of us is drug here, but he's here.
Yeah.
One of you guys, we're going to find out, is actually doing the love language for their spouse right now.
That's right.
And we'll find out which one that is before the show's over, right?
That's right.
Absolutely.
So, Tina, you wanted to talk about the 5 love languages. Kind of tell us why that was a good choice for today, other than we know Valentine's is this weekend.
That's kind of what we talked about, last month when we were here and thinking about what we could discuss in February, which is love, the love month, and right here on Valentine's. So we thought about the love languages, and our giveaway this month is, if anyone wants to go to our Facebook page, I think we're doing the drawing tomorrow or Friday. So we have a love book on the 8 Rules of Love by Jay Shetty. We have a $100 gift card from Lavish that they donated, and then Main Street Market donated a $75 gift card.
Wow,
so we
that's
have a
good.
couple $100 gift basket. So go over to our Facebook and register for that.
That would basically be somebody's Valentine's
That's
date
right.
right
So
there.
That's right. Go to Lavish, get you an outfit.
Right.
Get you something to eat, read the book. And so the love languages, we've done this for years. Scott and I taught this maybe, 15 or 20 years ago in our adult Sunday school class. So super interesting. And they have now expanded there as love languages for children, for teens, for couples, for men, for women, for singles, you name it, But we've also put this assessment on our Facebook page too. So anyone can go there and take a brief assessment. I encourage you to try to read the book, get the audio book. It's super interesting. In America, that over half of couples get divorced.
Right.
And that's really a sad statistic, but it's also even in the Christian homes, the divorce rate's not much different among Christian couples, professed
Right.
Christians. So, what's happening? How can we maybe today talk about some things that might help our marriages? Even good marriages can be better. Marriages that might be struggling, or maybe people that are getting into a relationship, falling in love.
Right. That the love always changes.
The love
So,
changes, and the most basic human need really is love.
Yeah.
And I wore my love shirt today. So really, we need love. And
The Beatles said that. All we need is love.
That's what the Beatles said,
Yeah.
and they can't be wrong.
Right.
All you need is love. So it's a very important thing. The Lord talked about love, and God so loved
Yep.
the world, that He gave us Jesus, and so love is a big thing. We need love; it's a real thing. So I thought it would be fun to talk about it today.
I think it was a great idea. Go into the love languages a little bit.
Okay, so Dr. Gary Chapman wrote this book many years ago after doing couples therapy for many years, and just kind of compiled what he saw was the recurring themes throughout the years. And so there's basically 5 love languages that he has came up with, and there's different takes on different things, but I gave you and Andrea
Right.
the test last week, so I thought we could talk about your kind of your love languages, our love languages. I got permission from our adult children to talk about theirs, and just
Yeah.
how that works with parents and children, all across the board, any relationship. It's super neat. So there's 5 love languages: words of affirmation, acts of service, quality time, physical touch, and acts of service. So we can kind of talk about each of them a little individual and go into it. Or do you want to start out with what yours?
Oh, you can start out with mine. That'd be
Okay,
fine.
so I graded your papers, and your number 1 love language is physical touch, and Andrea's least love language is physical touch, which I thought was super interesting. And then her number 1 is acts of service, and your least is acts of service.
Right.
So I think we kind of keep that in mind as we go through how that could play out, and you might have some examples that you might think of during this session.
Well, luckily we've gone through the 5 love languages before, and we realized how opposite we were. because you really have to work at that.
You do have to work at
and
it.
most of our arguments over the years, you can look back and see, oh, that one was because of that, and it's because ours do not cross really.
Right. And so once you understand your partner's or your child's love language, then you can start sincerely trying to fill their love tank
Right.
with that. And that's
Right.
kind of the premise of everything, is that we have a love tank. We're born with an empty love tank that has to be filled. And so we'll talk about the first one, words of affirmation. Love sounds like, with that, verbal reassurance, appreciation, encouragement. I'm so proud of you, or you look so nice today, or thank you for doing this or doing that. But really, words of affirming. So that's not my love language. I'm more of, don't tell me something, show me.
Right.
But there's
Put it in action.
Put it in action.
Yeah.
So words don't mean a whole. I mean, I like words. I like to hear "I love you," obviously, but I'm more of show me kind of.
Right.
That's where mine comes in.
And I think words of affirmation was middle of the road for mine, maybe.
It was close to the bottom, but
Yeah.
you had so many that were.
I was high on all of them.
I was like, how am I going to grade this? Because
Yeah.
you were definitely very close on some of yours.
Do you see how difficult it could be to live with me?
I was thinking, Andrea, bless her.
Right.
No. And I think we also talked about before the show that as we get a little bit older, sometimes things change. That one may come up a little bit more. And like we talked about for you, you've had major health issues.
Right.
So like quality time is your number one. I mean, is your number two, really
Right.
close to number one for you. But you really appreciate time.
Yeah.
Because time was almost no more.
Right,
for
right.
you. And as we get older, especially like with our children, man, we appreciate any kind of quality time because they've got their own lives.
Oh yeah, we're
And-
feeling that now
yeah.
too with the older children not being in the home, that sort of thing.
Right. So
Yeah.
anything you can do to get some time out. So yeah, I think things can change like that.
I wasted half the marriage writing love letters and stuff.
And she didn't even care about
I
it.
didn't
did
care
she?
about it.
I saved every one of them. I do have them, so I do care about them.
Right.
It's just not my. It means more that he's sitting here next to me, knowing he doesn't want to be here doing this, but because my number one love language is acts of service.
Right.
That this is serving me in that way. So he's filling my love tank
Right.
this
right.
morning,
Yeah.
So the other thing with, if this is your love language, silence feels like rejection, or criticism hits extra hard if this is your love language. So people can probably tell if this is their love language pretty easy. And it's like if love were oxygen, words would be the air.
Right.
If this was your love language. And if you think about with children, if your child's love language, and we talked about you have 5 children,
Yeah.
so you might think about which one, if one of your children might be this. If your child's love language, our child's love language is words of affirmation when they're little, and
Right.
we do not give our children those, man, you're doing a great job. I am so proud of you.
Right.
I loved it when you did this, or thank you for picking up your room. If we're not affirming them, or if we're critical of them, why can't you be like your sister?
Right.
Why didn't you make an A on that test? What's wrong with you? You're too this, you're too that. If their love language is affirmation, we're just crushing their
Yeah,
little
you're just tearing them
spirits.
apart,
Yeah,
yeah.
and they can develop into that as they get older. So Anthony's not here, but he would not care for me to say this. That's his love language. His number one love language is words of affirmation.
Yeah.
So, I know that, and it's not that we're also trying to be manipulative or be insincere if we know that someone's love language. We're not just giving them fluff,
Right,
But really
yeah.
being sincere of trying to find ways to tell them something affirming,
Right. Yeah, definitely so.
So words, sticks and stones, that old saying.
Yeah.
But words can never hurt me, but words do hurt. And sometimes people do not forget things that have been said. Words hurt all of us, So just think about that with words of affirmation, that it's an appreciation, it's encouragement, and that costs nothing to give somebody words of encouragement.
Right.
You got anything?
Me?
Yeah. So that is a good thing on the words. For you, it was 4th in your line, but for Andrea, it was second.
I was
for
going to say,
her.
I thought hers was probably second.
Yeah. So you would definitely need to be thinking
And
about ways of
that's the
affirming her.
one that has changed the most with her, I believe. It used to be further down the list, but I think it and number 3 have swapped.
Yeah, her number 3 was quality time.
Yeah, because her quality time used to be really close to her top.
Yeah.
But it's kind of, I think it's changed because we've spent so much quality time together in the last few years.
That's
Yeah.
mine.
Yeah.
As we're empty nesting,
Yeah,
quality time was, if that was your love language with 2 kids, it was, you didn't have much going on.
Right.
It wasn't no quality time.
right.
Yeah.
That's completely true.
Yeah, so I think for all of us, and again, we have all these love languages
Yeah.
to some degree. You know, maybe on one day we need it more than the other. So words of affirmation, you know, on somebody's important day or whatever, affirm somebody, or on any day, you know. Handwritten notes. I still do like handwritten notes, and I do all my notes handwritten too. You know, if someone does something, just a little thank you note or whatever. We're so used to now emailing things
Right. Or texting somebody.
or texting, but I do love to get something handwritten, and I still do that. So words of affirmation are very important. You know, Jesus was big on words,
Yeah.
and so we can kind of take some tips from him. Acts of service is another one, which is my top love language, and it looks like doing helpful things without being asked. So now we are empty nesting, but still I'm working
Right.
a lot. He works a lot. So how do we come home and how do we share at the end of a long day? Am I still doing everything?
Right.
You know, like a traditional maybe role of, which I'm not a good cook, so I don't cook a whole lot anymore. But I will call.
I think you've talked about that
Yeah,
before.
I'm really bad. So I will call it in the evening and I'll say, I'm on my way home. Do you want something for supper? I'm just going to swing by and pick something up.
Do you
Right.
ever do learn the sort of their love language? I mean, even from a standpoint of a man, who would have ever known going to the car and turning the seat warmers on
Right.
would
Yeah.
make her excited? When to me it's just go out there and just as simple as turning the heat on
Yeah.
on the car for her. So the acts of service, I'm slowly. It's took me 37 years, but I'm trying to catch on to that.
That's where I'm at too. It's took me a long time, and now I kind of figure out more what acts of service is. It's not the things that you might even hear her say, "I need this done or this done or this done." It's the things she didn't know that you were just doing that you don't even realize you're doing a lot of times.
Yeah, so like for instance, with us, we don't drink coffee. I know a lot of people, like their husband will make their coffee in the morning. That's not us, but we do
Right.
drink greens in the morning. So like he leaves like at 5 in the morning. I'm not leaving at 5 in the morning.
Right.
So even this morning when I got up, he was gone, but my greens were made and
Yeah.
waiting on me. You know, that's an act of service.
Yeah. Oh,
You
one
know?
of Andrea's favorite things, if I just first thing in the morning get up and get her a glass of ice water, that's an act of service right
That's
there.
right. And I hate pumping gas. I just hate it. You
Yeah.
know, do I know how to do it? Yes. Do I want to do it? No. So very rarely do I ever have to pump gas because he will either, even if sometimes in the morning, if he knows I will run it pretty low.
Right. Yeah.
I'm like, can be on fume, you know, like, I
Yeah.
got 5 miles, I can make it
If
home.
she says, "Let's drive my car," I know exactly what that means.
Right. Right. There's not enough gas.
We got to get gas.
Or, there probably needs to be extra time to go get gas before.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So sometimes, because again, he leaves so early, he may come home, get my car, and when he gets back, or before I even wake up, my car, has got gas in it. Or a lot of times, because we live in Piney Woods, he works in Piney Woods.
Yeah.
We have one store in Piney Woods. I'll call and I'll say, I need gas, and he'll say, I'll meet you at the store.
Right.
And he's right there waiting on me at the gas pump. So that fills my gas tank, and it fills my love tank.
See, there's people at home now, and they're thinking you're just a knight in shining armor.
And he is. And he is. He is. He really is. And so just things like that. And he's not domestic, so he doesn't cook either. He doesn't do dishes. He doesn't do laundry.
Yeah, I'm not good at any of
know,
that too. And those are the things that really help with that service. Too.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
what I like for him to do those things, yes. But when I was gone on vacation, my daughter and I went on vacation a few months ago, and he did laundry. I know he was trying to be helpful.
He messed everything
It
up. didn't he?
messed it up so bad. I said, I appreciate that effort, but do not do the laundry because
Right.
you do not know how to
If
do
she
it.
leaves, just leave the peanut butter and I'm fine.
Yeah.
That's all, 1 jar of peanut butter and I'll make
And
it.
if it gets cold, you'll need a little bread and milk. But other than that,
I'm good.
Yeah, so it might be also he is very handy for other things, though. So I don't have to worry about the grass getting cut, or I don't have to worry about, he keeps things fixed, or
Yeah.
just acts of service like that, and those are really important to me. And I think a lot of people, maybe women, that might be one of their top love languages too. Especially busy moms are growing, and your kids are growing up, and moms are really, dads are busy too, but moms
Yeah.
tend to still have a lot of extra things. So a little bit of service there, very helpful.
Yeah, definitely so. And if it's your lowest, um, you just got to do some things. Like,
Yeah.
Yes, well,
and like I said earlier, it's the things that you may not even think of that you can do. It doesn't have to be clean the entire house, or
Right.
anything that's just this major
yeah,
event.
or just pick up after yourself.
Right? Yeah,
You
that's
know,
that's another
just-
bad one for me.
Just leave things the way you found them. I do not want to pick up things that are not mine. So just things like that. And when is your love language? On the opposite, if broken promises or inaction can feel like not being cared about. So that's a way to look at the downside to that, the opposite of that language.
You don't give the love language that they need necessarily for something in return, but me giving her act of service can occasionally bring on the act of touch.
Right?
That
Yeah.
I need.
Yeah. Without getting X-rated. Yes.
Yes,
This is
that's
your
true.
family program. But yeah,
It's talking about love. I'm
With
being
me,
honest.
it's with me, it's probably never totally a family program, but it's
Yeah.
okay.
so for me, love is said. I mean, love's not said. But it's more done.
Right.
It is said, but it's more done.
Right.
So that's
you
kind of
you feel it more like you want the words of affirmation
Yes,
too,
yeah.
but you feel it more
Yeah.
through the acts that show that.
And just for
love.
an example, like today, him coming with me, if he would have came just kicking and screaming and giving me fits about it, and
Right.
I'm coming, but I don't want to be here, and then it would have just totally negated the act of service that he's doing by being here.
Right.
So it goes hand in hand with, don't gripe and complain about doing it.
Right.
Now, the whole county knows that I've committed this act of service.
Right.
You owe me one.
The whole county knows,
So
Yeah,
I'm one ahead.
but for
but
all-
love doesn't keep record.
love does not. Yeah, do not. Yeah, do not. Love does not keep score. So anyway, but that's I think it just super interesting to know about your love language like that. And I do love my seat warmers on year round. And most
Yeah.
times I get in the car now, he has my warmers on. And it's, to me, it's like he remembers it, he recognizes it, and it's important to me.
Right.
And it again fills my love tank.
Right. Yep.
So simple.
And as the love tank gets higher, happier wife.
That's
sure.
right.
After
Yeah.
a while.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I'm going to be more in tune to his
Right.
love language,
Right.
So the another love language is receiving gifts. And that's not my love language.
Before we get into
Okay.
gifts, let's take a
Take a
break.
break, okay.
And then we'll come back and we'll finish talking about the love languages. We'll be right back here on Live at 9 with James Phillips on WJLX. And we're back on Live at 9 with James Phillips. We've got Scott and Tina Aaron today, or Tina and Scott Aaron, whichever. I don't want to start a fight over who's first. But I want to thank Young's Jewelers, as you heard. They're one of our title sponsors. And as well, we've added Jake's on 4th. And this is the perfect week to be talking about both of those places because if you need something shiny for your significant other, Young's Jewelers is the perfect place to go, especially on Valentine's Day. And then Jake's on 4th is offering Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, all week this week. They're going to be having specials for Valentine's, and it's a really cool Valentine's menu. Check it out on their Facebook page on Jake's on 4th. So, guys, let's dig back into the 5 love languages. I think this is interesting with everybody's different perspectives and different languages.
Right. So perfect to talk about receiving gifts because you just talked about going down to Young's, and that would really be probably
Hint, hint.
nice. And then I could go to Jake's on 4th for lunch today, so that would be good too. So receiving gifts is another love language, and that feels like being remembered and considered. So making sure it doesn't have to be again expensive things, but that is our daughter's love language is gifts. So
And it is expensive.
She is expensive. Yeah. She is pricey.
She has high taste, right?
Yes, she is. But
for a gal from Pineywood.
Yes, but I'm telling you, I cannot tell you the times I'll be at work and I will get flowers delivered, and they're from her.
Yeah.
Almost like literally all the time. That's her love language, and she will just send me. The other day, she sent me the most beautiful flowers. Or I've got probably didn't cost $1, a little. I think she gave me the other day to keep in my purse that does your cuticle oil,
Right.
Just little gifts, or that's just her love language. It always has been. Again, she is pricey, but I give her gifts all the time too, or I'll say, here's just a little extra love. I sent her something yesterday. I didn't tell you. I Venmo'd her a little love yesterday, and she said, I just said, here's a little love, and she said, I need all the love I can
Right.
get because she's about to get married and she's still in school. So, she said, I need all that love. So think about your children. When they were little, you have some little kids that would pick flowers in the yard, bring to their mom, or
Right.
or draw stuff all the time and give to them. So if their love language, even early on, you might can see was gifts. It's definitely not mine. On yours, it's about third, but you're really close. Again, quality time and gifts.
Right.
For yours.
Gifts used to definitely be my first or second one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And for Andrea, it's way low on hers too. It's not. And it's low on mine. Not that I don't like to get something from Young's. I'm not saying that.
Right.
But
I'm glad because you just go get it yourself.
That's right.
At this point, yeah, I'm like, don't get me anything because I just went to wherever and got something.
Well, I think the reason I like to give gifts is because I see things and I think about somebody that's close to me. And even that's how my social media works. Like if I'm on Instagram looking at reels, when I see a reel that I think's funny, I'm like, oh, such and such would think that's funny. I got to send it to them.
Yeah. Yes, the gifts is not about the money.
Right.
It's about the thought, which is exactly what you said. When I think about somebody. So that's the thing behind it. What makes it so special is they thought about me. Hey, I was just somewhere. I saw this. It
Right.
reminded me of you. I thought of you.
Yeah. And if somebody thinks about me, I like that.
That's it. That's all it is. Hey, they thought about me. That's really great. I got a text yesterday from a friend I've not seen in a long time, and she said, I was just thinking about you.
Right.
Well, that just filled my love tank. It's the thought again, the thought behind it. So it might be a handwritten note, which Scott's very, very good. I have an entire drawer full of notes. And I used to be really bad, so I used to
Grading
spell
the
check
papers.
them and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
You spelled that wrong. I thought that's not nice, So now I just look at them and we laugh. And
Did you get them back with a red?
Sometimes I did. I was so bad.
Yeah,
so
she
bad.
has
Y'all don't
done
do
that
that.
before.
That's so bad. Don't do it.
Grade my letters.
Right.
Yes. Or maybe just their favorite snacks. Like sometimes he'll come home. I love a Diet Mountain Dew and a Snickers.
Yeah.
He may come home. Here's your Diet Mountain. Or going to the gas station. A lot of times if we're going to a gas station and I'll stay in the car and he'll say, do you want anything? And I'll say no. But he'll come back
with a Snickers,
because I'm probably going to want that, or I'll eat some of his stuff.
Is it because you're like the ones on the commercials that turn into a diva if you don't have a Snickers?
No, well, chocolate, something.
It's something
Yeah.
chocolate.
Yeah,
That's the-
well, for supper yesterday, I went to Dairy Queen and I had an Oreo Blizzard. That was my supper yesterday,
Yeah.
so not
I
not the
enjoy
best.
giving gifts. I like making them.
yeah, like making something special
I
yourself.
gave her a lot of gifts that, the value ain't much, but it may have took me 5 hours to make it.
Right.
And it may be worth 50 cents when I get through.
Right, but it's probably worth
Yeah.
$1 million to her when you give it to her.
Yeah, so we were talking in the break. We met in high school in the 80s, the greatest decade
Well, it's
you know,
pretty close. Yeah.
ever. And actually, Valentine's will be our first date 40 years ago. So we've been, a long time.
Yeah.
And they used to sell the carnations, for like, I don't know, a quarter, $1, or 50 cents, whatever. And I was sitting in typing class, and I didn't have a boyfriend, never had a boyfriend. I wasn't expecting, knowing I wasn't getting anything, as they were
Right.
passing them around when I got one. And it said, to Tina Aaron, I love you, from Scott. And I was like, oh my God, to my friend, I said, he doesn't know me. But I was so excited, and I
Yeah.
kept that. I still have that little heart out of construction paper. It's torn. I've framed it, but I've kept it all these years. And he was in ag in high school, and he made me little heart things. I've kept those, and all the years, still to this day, he still goes out in the wood shop and makes things,
Yeah, that's really cool.
And it makes them from other people, too. That's his, he likes to do that. So,
And it's something you enjoy doing anyway, and it makes other people happy. So that's a win-win if I've ever seen one.
yeah, and it's not the price, it's the presence, not the present, but
Right.
the presence.
Right.
With a C, like
Yeah,
knowing
most
he
of my
spent the
stuff,
time.
I get a lot. I've made her several things. Like I said, if it on the market, the value is pretty low.
Yeah.
But to her, you can look around the house, and there's several things that I've made.
Yeah.
And some things is not worthy to make it on the counter to be seen. Some
Right.
things are maybe kept in the drawer.
Yeah.
But
But that's another way. Even those things sitting there, it may not fill your love tank up as much as it did the first time you saw it. But just walking through the house, you're getting like a dime or a nickel
Yes.
in the
Yes.
love tank
Just a
every time.
reminder.
Yeah.
And, because our kids are grown and out of the house, or our daughter's about to be out of the house, we have 2 little grandboys. And so my fridge is covered. If my little grandboys,
Oh,
if they
yeah.
have scribble, I write down, this is the date, they scribbled it, and it's on my refrigerator, or anything like that, any little coloring page, anything. If my little grandson says something to me, I put a note in my phone because I want to remember it, So those little gifts are so important. So if that's someone's love language, forgetting someone's birthday or anniversary or a special occasion, maybe it's the anniversary of something that wasn't great. Someone lost their loved one, remembering that, hey, I want to send you this today, or I'm thinking of you today. That is really great for somebody whose love language is gifts.
Right. Yeah.
It's again the thought, the sentimental thought. So as my daughter's getting married, I had saved my wedding dress from 100 years ago, and so last Friday she said, Mom, I want to have that dress taken apart, and I want to wear it for my wedding rehearsal. So I said, I saved it all these years, forever having a daughter, that's what it would be for. And so we did that last Friday, so we'll see what that turns out to. But that was a gift I could give her.
Right.
And she, she's so excited about that, just being able to have some part of my dress that's going to be hers. So
Yeah.
things like that mean something.
and I'll be excited when it's over.
Exactly.
Yeah, we got home and
I've got 4 girls.
Oh my gosh!
Oh,
Listen,
yeah.
you better start saving
Yeah.
because it's really bad, and there's no budget for a wedding. We've learned that we're
Right.
3 times over the
What you wanted to be or expected to be.
Yeah. So Friday we were coming home. We had 4 dresses to get altered, and he said, of course, his first question, how much is it going to be?
Right.
And I said, I didn't ask.
Right.
At this point,
'Cause it's gotta be done,
It's so
right?
bad. It's so
Yes.
bad. We don't even ask anymore. It's just
Yeah.
like
Just
we
to let
don't know.
everybody know is my daughter leaves the shoes. They wear the same shoe size. I may sell tickets to the fight. Who gets what shoes?
Of who gets what shoes?
Yeah,
Uh-oh.
yeah, it'll be
Yeah.
on.
Yeah. Andrea and my daughters do that too, and they're constantly, when one of them's going out the door, who's had this shoe?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And it's led to a few
Yeah.
instances where I just try to turn and go to the other room.
Yeah, it's all in good fun.
Right.
So another, moving on, so we can get them all in. Another important love language is quality time, and I do think that probably does change as we get older, just because we value time, so much more, and that is my son's number one love language, and he's about to be 30. So his second love language is physical touch. But I was asking him last night if I could talk about it, because I noticed with him, he's married, has 2 children, so I don't get to spend a lot of one-on-one quality time with him because he works at the shop with Scott all day long.
Right.
And when Scott gets home, I'll always say, "How was Jackson today?" I was like, I don't know. We were at work today.
Right.
We were working.
Yeah.
We didn't have heart-to-heart conversations. We're talking about steel and jobs, and so.
So he must have been pretty good if he didn't say anything bad.
Right.
Is the way to look at it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Jackson's just super easy, but every now and then he'll say, and it's happened a few weeks ago, "Mom, I've got to run to town. I think he was going to get a haircut. You want to ride with me?"
Yeah.
Yes, I want to ride with you. And not too long ago, because he's building a house too, and he said, "I need to go to the dump. Do you want to ride?" Yes. Do I want to go to the dump? No, I hate the dump.
Right.
It makes me sick. It smells terrible.
It does.
But did I want that hour of riding in the car with my son, or the truck? The loud, noisy truck.
Right.
Yes, I will do that because I wanted that quality time. And I'd like to think maybe he wanted the little mom time,
Well, if he's the one that called to ask, I'm
made
going to say
myself
yeah.
Think of that. And the other day, one day.
Or a free lunch.
Or a free lunch. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
And one day last week, he called me on the way home from work. Now, again, he lives in Piney Woods. He works in Piney Woods. It's a 3-minute drive.
Right.
But he called, "Hey, what are you doing?" I was at work. I thought he was going to say, "Can you keep the boys or can you do something?" And I was waiting for the "can you?" And he said, "I just come to talk to you.
He was just thinking about
Listen, if you could have registered my love tank."
you. Right. It was exploding at
It
that point.
I told everybody. He just called me on the way home just to talk to me,
I've spent thousands of dollars on gifts and not got the same response.
Exactly.
And
Yeah.
What am I doing?
He was
wrong?
sitting there scratching his
Yeah,
head.
what am I
Yeah.
doing wrong?
Yeah. So, that very important, that quality time, and that's focused, undivided attention. And I think we need to really take a minute to talk about that in this day where we have our phones all the time.
Right.
And me and Scott and we were at a restaurant the other day after church, and we saw this beautiful family come in. Beautiful mom and dad, 2 beautiful children sitting at a restaurant. Kids had both their iPads sitting out with cute little iPad cover,
Right.
little-
Where you knew it was an iPad.
yeah, cute iPads. They're watching theirs. The parents were on their phones. So here are these 4 beautiful people, and they are in proximity of each other,
Right.
but they are not present with each other.
Right. Yeah.
There was no quality time happening. And you can see that everywhere you go. And just think about our own home. Are we watching TV and having conversations? Are we texting and having conversations? It is quality time is really undistracted.
Right.
It is. I'm giving you my undivided attention. I'm looking you in the eye. I'm not taking a call. I'm not, let me grab this. I'm listening with my ears, but I'm looking with my eyes. No, I want your undivided attention. I want to see your expressions. I want to, all those things. It's so important.
And we're like that even watching a movie. We will get in an argument if one of us is on our phone and the other one's not, and you're not paying attention to the movie, because watching a movie is an experience together. You like to see their face and their reaction and all
Yeah,
that stuff.
and you wanna talk
and
about
I'm
it.
as bad at it. I'm as bad at it looking at Facebook page or something as Andrea is looking at TikTok. So it's the same, and we have to really focus on that.
Yeah. And we see kids younger and younger with phones.
Yeah.
Little kids going for the phones.
Yeah.
Where are they getting that from? Their parents. They're seeing their parents on the phone all the time. So I would just encourage parents, put the phone down, give your children undivided attention.
Right.
And
Because-
your wife.
And
Yeah,
your,
and your-
yes,
yeah,
and
and
your
your-
spouse.
Your spouse,
Yeah.
for sure.
Some of our best quality time is in the car.
Yeah.
You're limited, no phone, phone
Right.
shouldn't be anyway. So it's just us.
Oh yeah.
You can talk. And
Just riding's one of my favorite times.
some of our best time to discuss happy times, sad times, solve problems
Yeah.
is either the front porch or the front seat of the truck.
Right. Yeah.
And the car ride tends to be, and we talk about this a lot even in therapy at Heart. We do some things that we call them like side-by-side things. We even have some treadmills there. We're doing therapy walking on the treadmill.
Oh, yeah.
Or because side-by-side is like your inhibitions are kind of down sometimes. And we had to create the free zone in our car for our daughter because she is spirited.
You're right. That's a good way to put it.
And so we had to create her a free zone so she could just say anything she wanted to say in the free zone. That was the
Right.
car, because we were going to sports and going here and going there. So we were in the car a lot. So free zone, say what you want to say. But quality time, y'all, I do think love can be spelled Time.
Yeah.
Really, because everybody's so busy. And if you give up something for somebody else, you're giving quality time. That speaks volumes.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
gave
yeah.
up an hour of my, of my time for you. That's a big deal. I appreciate if somebody gives me their time, because a lot of times we'll say, or they're
You
taking
can't
up,
replace it.
or they'll take up offering at
Yeah.
church, or take up offering, and I'm like, I can give $20 better than I can give 20 minutes.
Right. Yeah.
And
One
it's-
time, it is. It's just you don't know how much time you have, and it's hard to give time because you've got so many different priorities. But it is, the more that things have happened to me traumatically, the more I realize that about time. And I think God just needed to kind of slap me a little bit. But even like today driving in, I thought, I'm just so thankful to be here, because last year at this time I was in the hospital and my defibrillator was firing 2 or 3 times a day. So
yeah.
when your heart stops a few times, you just, now it's every day's a great day.
That's right. Yeah, you have a whole new appreciation for
Yeah,
it.
and I have the bad days where I don't,
Yeah.
don't get me wrong. It's not, James handled it so well, but you just, you learn from those
Yeah.
experiences.
And I think when we're young, we think we've got all the time in the world,
Right.
you know. And
Kids change you too.
yes. And day before yesterday, I was driving home, and I was on the phone with my daughter because she was at work. She's works in Birmingham, and I was talking to her, and I just started crying. I'm in all my feels too. I'm in my daughter getting married feels, So I
Right.
was just crying, and I said, you only have like 10 weeks left for you to be home, and you're going to be gone,
Yeah.
And so we were just having a good old, cry about that. So time is, people all the time will say, I don't have time for that. I don't have time for that, But again, if we're thinking about even with our children, I don't have time for you. They can think of it that way. They don't have
Right.
time for me, So just some quality time. Doesn't have to be a lot of the quantity. Parents, we get so busy with our kids, putting them in 10 different things, and we
Right.
think that's, well, we're with them, we're running them here, we're running them there. They may want to just sit down, and when our little 4-year-old grandson comes over, usually the first thing he says, hey, Gigi, you want to play a game?
Right.
And I'll say, I would love to. Of course, I can do that now because I'm Gigi and I got the time when he comes over.
Right.
But that's what he wants to do. He wants quality time. He never says, he's not a movie watcher, so he's not like just sit and watch something. He wants to
Yeah.
do something. Papa Scott, let's go in the little shop. Let's make something. I mean,
Yeah.
he wants to cut grass with his dad or just whatever. So it's the time, y'all. We cannot cannot state that enough. Spend quality. Put the phone down. Anything that's distracting. Any hobby.
Right.
Spend time. Spend time. The last one is physical touch, and
See, you saved that one to where we didn't have a lot of time to talk about it.
yeah, but super interesting on this one because in the book he does a much better job. I don't have time to really explain it, but a lot of men tend to think theirs is physical touch. Again, trying to be
Right.
clean.
It's not just sexually.
It's not
yeah.
It is. If you pull that out of the equation, if you were to remove anything sexual like that out of the equation, would physical touch still
Well,
be
let's
there?
don't remove it.
Right. Yeah.
I'm just saying
like we're
if.
all saying, let's
Be
I'm
not.
careful.
saying if.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, just-
So I will say that's Scott's number one love language. But I also will say that we hold hands all the time.
Right. Yeah.
In the car, we hold
Yeah,
hands.
because it's not like you were saying. It's not just about sexual. It's any kind, like a pat on the back or a
Yes.
holding of the hand or
It could be a
just touch you on the face or
touch.
yeah, just
I want to be
any.
that 80-year-old man. You see him in his pickup and his wife sitting close to him.
Right. Yeah.
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 You know,
It's a
That's the
safe,
kinda stuff.
affectionate touch.
Yeah.
Because
It just makes you feel comfortable and comforted and that sort of
comforted. That's an excellent thing because in some people, if we work, of course, with a lot of people who've had trauma, if they've had an abuse, touch might not be comforting to them.
Right.
It might be a bad thing for them,
Right.
or they might not have gotten the touch that they needed or got it inappropriate. So it's a safe thing. Hugs, there's been research on how powerful hugs are. It just, helps regulate you, comforts you if I'm sad, and because I feel so safe with him because I've been with him forever, you
Right,
know,
yeah.
and he knows me so well. So if I'm having a bad day, or if he just hugs me, that's just, it takes so much away, you know. And even like with my son, whose physical touch is his second, kind of close to his first, there's not many times I don't see him that we don't hug.
Right,
You
yeah.
know, or I don't come behind him and I still will just give him a little shoulder rub, or I'll. Other day I was just rubbing his hair. You know, I said, "Oh my gosh, you got a knot on your head." He said, "Yeah, I got lots of knots." on my
Right.
head." So
You don't get that kind of love from me.
Yeah. You're the one that put the knot on his head.
yeah, probably.
Well, it's also, it's about 3 years ago, I had a bad sickness too.
Yeah.
A pretty good scare. It was sort of funny. I told her, I said, if you would, just don't leave me. Stay close.
Right, that's how I felt too.
Here I was, a grown man, but it was nothing to do with the fear.
Right.
It was the comfort
Oh
of
yeah,
her being with me.
yeah. That's how I was when I was
It's very
so
odd.
sick. I didn't want her to leave the room. I didn't, even once I was home and supposedly okay, you're still in a panic, and you want
exactly
her
where I
right
was.
there.
Yeah.
Yes. So, it could be sitting close. It could be hand holding. It could be the touch on the shoulder. And again, you think about with your children, they need affection.
Right.
They need that so much. And
Well, I think about with us, it's like the driving time that you guys talked about. And usually in driving time, if I'm the driver, I've got the one hand here, and then this hand's going to be either holding her hand or just sitting on her leg,
yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
And that's just comforting too, as I'm stressing to drive somewhere.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
Yeah, we do that all the time, and I'm very affectionate, and he's gotten much better about being affectionate. So I think we've just again growing over the years. But
That's another thing. When you got a young couple marrying and these two worlds collide,
yeah,
what you're used to and the love in your house versus, I remember when we got married, our family is more, we show love, but we don't say, I love you all the time.
right,
Well, when her family, if we got up to go to the store, her mom was, I love y'all.
right,
And I was like, what's going on?
Yeah.
Ain't nobody dying. What we,
right. Why we got to say
why-
that?
Why are we saying that? So that was a big, we adjusted to our own
Right.
love. It's a struggle. Do you get used to each
Oh,
other's
yeah.
love language?
When I've told my kids, you don't know anybody until you've lived with them,
No.
and then you start to get to know somebody. Once you're living together.
Well, I told her when I had the approach at first, I told you I loved you when we got married. If I change my mind, I'll let you know.
Right.
That
yeah.
don't work neither.
Yeah, that
So
doesn't
I
work
had
at
to-
all.
Yeah, I had to adjust to the fact of, even if it ain't for me, to let her know verbally more often that I love her.
Right. And we've gotten to the point where I tell her too much that I love her. She's like, I know. So,
Yeah.
well, and I think with like our daughter and her fiance, they're in premarital counseling at a church in Birmingham, and so they're doing the love languages among other things, and I love that because if we would have known this 40 years ago,
Oh, yeah.
oh my gosh,
Yeah.
all the fights and things that would have saved. So I would say to people that are dating, or people that are newly married, or even if you've been married 40 years, keep reinvesting in your
Oh, yeah.
relationship. It
Absolutely.
can make things so much better. And I know we don't have time, but I was going to talk about, new love, puppy
Right.
love versus, all those kind of things. That might be for a different show.
yeah, it could be.
But for one thing, I was going to,
I do want to push everybody though. If you're out there in a relationship and you're everybody's going to struggle in it. Just realize that everybody's going through that thing. But Hart does an amazing job, and they do couples counseling. And I think every couple should go through some sort of counseling because it just forces that communication that you need to have anyway.
right. And I wanted to, I have a few minutes left with the physical touch. I had remembered a study back, some of y'all may have remembered this, that maybe Romanian orphanages,
Yeah.
they did the study of all these babies that were in the orphanage, and they're getting their physical need met. They've got shelter.
Right.
They're being
They've got
fed.
food, yeah.
So their physical needs are met, but because there's so many of the babies, not enough help, they're not being held. They're not being rocked. They're not being nurtured. They're not being loved physically. And the studies of what's happened to those children, that did not get the love, or if you're going to the NICU, they want you to rock the babies,
Right.
or have touch and skin, or hold their hand. They'll say, just hold their little incubator, hold their hand,
Yeah.
hold their little finger, skin to skin. The touch is so important. So this study of these poor little babies, the impact if they were deprived while in care, because it's biologically essential for infants. So they just have to have it, So their brains are wired to develop through this nurturing contact, and so it stimulates and regulates their heart rate, their stress hormones, temperature, and sleep. And so without it, they found failure to thrive was one of the basic things. Slower physical, like they literally did not grow physically as well.
Right.
Their weight, their height gains, developmental delays, brain development was different, lower IQ, behavior problems, attachment, emotional challenges, attachment disorders. A lot of times I've seen shows where people here have adopted those children and they can't attach. Those
Right.
children can't attach, and they may even
They just don't have the ability.
right.
To.
So because they never had
They've
it,
never seen it. Right.
and they have all kind of social problems, all kind of trust, emotional withdrawals, anxiety, depression. A lot of it could be sociopathic tendencies, just because that didn't get nurtured and developed.
Right.
And obviously, we believe through a lot of therapy and through the Lord, people can recover, things can be done, but sometimes there's damage done, and some of these children, they don't
Right.
ever come to where they could have been had they had love and attention like
Right.
they needed it. So it is not just a whimsical thing. It's a real biological thing that we need love, all this kind of love. We
Right.
need words of love. We need acts of service. We need physical touch. We need all those things.
Right. And some people just need a little bit more of each different one,
Right.
That's what
Well,
we're
even
all.
My daughter, the last thing I want her to do is she got out to hunt a husband is not know what true love was. So
Right.
I wanted to make sure, because if you don't love, they can get a false.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So even as my daughter is a teenager, I wanted her to know what love was.
Right.
And
Oh
what
yeah.
it wasn't.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, Tina, thanks for bringing Scott in, dragging and kicking and screaming.
It's going to cost me. Payback.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we don't keep score, but it'll
But you'll be glad the next time your tank gets filled.
as we close out, just to remind everybody, the love of Jesus, y'all. That's
Yes.
the only love without a motive.
Right.
And if you hadn't accepted Him, that would be your first priority to get any relationship better.
Oh yeah. And read his words, because
Yes.
he said love a whole lot more than he said most anything else. And,
That's right.
That's the game changer.
yeah. And I don't think we hit that mark. I know I don't, and,
No.
and nobody hits it, but
Yeah.
just follow it. That's the thing. And every day I end the show by saying, "Be kind and love until tomorrow," and that's what I'm going to say now, and especially on Valentine's week. Be kind and love, and we'll see you tomorrow. Actually, tomorrow we're going to have a gubernatorial. There, got it out. Candidate, a Republican candidate. He's from Pelham. His name's Ken McFeeters. He's the guy that's been kind of questioning Tommy Tuberville if he lives in Alabama or Florida. So that'll be a cool interview with him to see why he's running for governor and why you guys should pick him over somebody else. So he'll be in the morning, and we'll be back on Live at 9 tomorrow on WJLX.